Hello, Lego fans, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Brick Hour podcast. I am your host, JJ, otherwise known as Langster Builds on Instagram. With me, as always, my wonderful co-host Cam, otherwise known as Camera Studios.
How's it going?
Cam is sad tonight. The Bruins are playing their final game of the
Okay,
season.
I'm honoring them because this is the first season the second season that they haven't made the playoffs, but the first time that the record has been atrocious. Because when they did make the playoffs last time, they had over 100 points. It was just
They
such a
were,
tight
it was a
East
tight race.
division.
Can you believe this is the first time in like 10 years or something like that that the Rangers, Bruins, or Penguins, all three of them are not in the playoffs? Can you believe that?
Here's something crazier. It's going to end up being four of the six original six aren't making it in. Guaranteed. We still don't
Wild.
know about the Montreal Canadiens if they're
The
going to make
Habs
it
are
or not.
scaring me, but we'll get to that. We'll talk about that later.
But
We've already got off the rails. Today we're going to
I
talk
miss
about,
Patrice Bergeron, so honor him. No
yes,
more crashing the Bruins, thank you.
you're welcome. I will not. Sorry, I'm just loving the fact that my Knights are in again.
And yet you're not representing him.
I don't have to do that just yet. The playoffs have not started.
Let's get
Um,
back to the episode. This is gonna be a fun
this
one.
this is going to be a fun one because we're talking about retired themes, old themes, but specifically,
Wait, this isn't time capsule.
this isn't time capsule, no, but specifically how these old themes could and should get an Icons remake.
Get
Before
the
we get to
icons
that,
treatment.
yeah, right. Before we get to that, Cam, what are we building?
What are we building? Well, as we've discussed on this podcast a few times already, we have a convention coming up, our local Brick Universe. JJ obviously has been hard at work because you can see behind him the growth that he has
Hey, I
amassed.
said in the Pokemon episode that was going to be done in a few weeks, and I was totally right.
You were totally right. So you and I have both been building a lot in preparation for Brick
Mhm,
Universe. I've been mainly designing. I finished all my designing. Now I just got to order the rest of the pieces for all my brick heads.
mhm.
I made one order with Doug, one of our lug members. And then after this episode, actually, and after I see Daredevil's finale, can't wait, I'm going to order the rest of the pieces I need to finish building all the brick heads I need. One that was able to finish, and the only thing I'm sure for what we're building is Genie.
Ah,
Let's get
yes.
him out of the light.
He looked. That is one of the better. That's so good.
It's such a simple character it was such a simple one to design, but I think that's what makes him so good is the sleekness of it, just how simple, like the less is more aspect of it.
I'm still surprised that Lego hasn't done him yet as a Brickhead. I feel like they will at some point,
I
but
mean, they haven't done any Aladdin characters because I've shown Jasmine and Aladdin,
mhm.
and I just actually finished designing Jafar last night. I'm hoping we get more brickheads. I mean, we talked about it before how there was like the one year in 2018 where they just blew up and they
They went
didn't perform as
insane.
well, so they kind of took a step back, but they're still producing solid ones.
Mhm.
I hope we get more broadened Disney characters. I'd love to see more Disney characters, but if we don't, I'll just design them myself.
There you go. I'm sure
But
they will be just as good as that.
that is what I've been building. JJ, how about you get into more specifically what you've been building besides just generally the Batcave?
So if you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I finished the back left corner of the cave. The docking bay module for the Bat Falcon is done. The docking bay module for the Bat Space Shuttle is done. Effectively, two-thirds of the mock is complete. Um, I got a bunch more parts in today. I will be knocking out the rest of the Bat Cycle module in tomorrow night. And I will also be completing the rest of the Bat Mech docking bay module as well, which then leaves a couple more orders to go through, and I will basically be able to finish the entire thing by next weekend. Or
You
sorry,
have less than
two.
2 weeks, you know.
Hey man,
You got
down
a
to the
third to
wire.
go.
I'll be able to get it done. Don't you worry. Um, but part of that involved getting a couple minifigures because unfortunately the minifigure that I won from Venom CW is not going to be done in time, which is unfortunate, but I will have it for Brick Fair. That's okay. I needed a replacement figure to put there. So
Ah,
I
yes.
ended up with
I haven't seen
this
this one yet.
beautiful guy.
Oh, yes, you told me about him.
So
That's a good suit.
this is the Alfred Driver suit from the Lego Batman movie, from specifically from the Ultimate Batmobile. This is after he gets hit with the merch gun. which by the way will be in the cave. That'll be hilarious. Um, I figured, you know what? I don't really have a lot of extra Robin suits to put in there. There's no other Batman suits. And I figured, you know what? Alfred has technically one. He's got a couple alternates, but this is like an actual like bat suit for Alfred, so that went in there.
Perfect.
Same time, I figured I do have another custom Robin minifigure on the way,
Oh.
but just in case that one does not arrive, I ended up getting this Robin.
Ah,
I did
that's
not have this one
honestly.
yet. I do love this
I'm
Robin. It's a
surprised you didn't have that one because that was a solid bat
as
vehicle and
am
the
I.
villain, honestly, with Deathstroke.
With Deathstroke. There was a set I just never got when I was younger. And now I have it. So worst case scenario, if so, spoiler alert, I bought Crypto Bats Red Robin custom, which looks phenomenal. If that figure is not here in time, which it's already shipped, it definitely will be.
It has shipped?
It did ship. It shipped like 2 days
Yes.
ago. Um, if it does not get here in time, I will put that in the cave in place of it as like a tactical suit Robin next to tactical suit Batman. So it'll be good. But
So
yeah, this whole thing
if you
is
do get it and you don't use that Robin, can I have it?
no.
Oh,
You have it
Elmo.
already. You got that set.
I do. Hi, Elmo.
You're not stealing another one. Um, but yeah, so the cave it is very close to completion. It is right there. I'm gonna go to our local secondhand Lego store, Bricks Rock, get some parts on Thursday, and get the final bat suit I need for the cave. Disco Batman, he will be in it.
Do we
Uh,
tease what we're doing for next week's episode?
you know what? Let's say it. We, our next episode,
I'm so excited for this.
yes, our next episode will not be releasing on Friday.
Going on a field trip.
We are going on a field trip. We will be filming the episode from Brick Universe from the convention center, and next week's episode will be releasing on Saturday.
While we're at the
Um,
convention. We wanted to try and do it live, but we think it's a little too soon for it. We don't want to deal with any hiccups, so we
yeah.
figured we'll just film it after we set up for Brick Universe on
Mhm.
Friday. We'll film it.
And at the same
JJ will be able
time,
to edit it quickly that night.
we'll be able to get it up. It'll be up Saturday, and we're gonna do our May 4th buyer's guide
I'm
that
so
that next
excited.
episode. So,
The reveals today.
oh man, the Star Wars
Do
reveals.
we
We'll
want to
talk
show them
about that
off real
more next
quick?
week, but like, my
Okay.
God, how incredible were those?
All right.
But
Quick
yes,
hot take. Completely did a 180 on the Star Wars logo.
it's phenomenal.
I'm just throwing that out there.
It's
I'm
so
shocked.
good. It's so good.
But more on that next week.
We'll
Let's
talk about
get
next week.
back to
Yes.
today's episode.
So today we are talking about old themes,
Yes.
specifically old themes that deserve an icon set. Now, what made us do this? Well, everybody remembers a couple years ago when Lego did their 90th anniversary thing, and
Yes.
there was a bunch of themes they put up um, for like the fan poll for what you wanted to
Hmm.
see. And the two of the sets that got there in the end were the giant Lion Knight's castle
Hmm.
and the Galaxy Explorer, which you can see right up top.
And I have it right there.
Yep. And then on January 1st of this year, they did the Blacktron Renegade. They remade that set.
Batmanify it.
No, it's too easy to
Yes.
Batmanify that. It's not a challenge to me. Everyone keeps telling me to do that. I'm not going to do it. We're not playing Daniel Lewa's game of Will It Batman with literally everything. Actually, yes, we are.
We are definitely
Um,
playing Will It
we're definitely
Batman
playing it with
and
everything,
Robin.
but
You know what? Will It Bat Family.
just but Will It Batman, Will It Robin. Um, he coined that, by the way. I can't steal that from him.
Thank you, Daniel
Um,
Lewa.
yes, thank you, Daniel Leva, for that one. So, realistically speaking, we're starting to get some more sets,
Hmm.
like retro sets, classic sets,
Yeah.
getting remade with more modern building techniques. And now there's rumor floating around that the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean is getting remade later this year as an Ultimate Collector style set,
Hmm.
an icon set, which made us think, are there some sets and some
Hmm.
old themes out there that deserve an icon's
And
treatment?
honestly, outside of that, like we've been seeing some CMF figures, some little
Mhm,
Easter eggs and sets, like Exo Force in the City Roller Coaster, the Space City Roller Coaster, the Spaceman and Space Baby and the CMF, Mtron. Like we've seen so many small, not even reboots, just Easter eggs really. And like
mhm.
honestly, these themes we feel deserve the Icons treatment to get a
Yes.
full-blown set because not only would nostalgia just bite everyone in the butt and to go and buy it,
Mhm.
but they're themes that could do so much better than they initially did with all the new parts available now.
Correct. And quick disclaimer, this this set. This list that we have is ten themes. It does include a mix of Lego IPs that they created themselves
Hmm.
and licensed IPs that they brought in from outside, obviously. Um, not as much licensed, but there's a couple in there that we think
There's a couple
really
that
could
think,
work.
yeah, basically we have Lego and non-Lego IP, but basically all the themes are themes that we believe could just really do amazingly under the
Yeah.
Icons theme.
These are themes that realistically could only get rebooted if it was under the Icons
Hmm.
umbrella because of how poorly they sold and how poorly they did before when they were doing like play sets and whatnot.
Or they
And
just ran their course. They were great then, and they
correct,
just ran their
ran
course.
their course and it was just the end of it.
Exactly.
So I think a good place to start is our honorable mention because this was one that we kind of went back and forth. This list was
Hmm.
almost 11, but I don't know if this one would hit as well as some of the other ones on here just yet.
I think, all right, let's just say it. So the honorable mention is going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Hmm.
The reason it's an honorable mention is because we've seen it submitted a few times on ideas,
Hmm.
and once it got on Netflix at the pretty much the start of COVID, it just shot up in popularity again. Everybody was watching. It was one of the most popular shows on Netflix. They did a live action reboot on Netflix. There's talks of more animated films
Hmm.
coming. It's become popular again.
Yes.
And with the initial waves, there's only two. And what happened was you had SpongeBob and Avatar, and Lego decided whichever theme sells better, that's the one they're going to continue with. And that's where Avatar ended because at the time, it was a good show. It's a phenomenal show, but it wasn't as popular as SpongeBob.
Hmm.
And SpongeBob just sold with kids. So that's why it's an honorable mention because we've seen it in ideas. People want it, but we're just not 100% sure it's too niche, unless you have anything else to add.
Yeah, I mean, I think my reasoning for not including it and putting another theme we just kind of alluded to on there is
Hmm.
I think the taste from that movie that M. Night Shyamalan
Mm,
so disgracefully threw out there
that
is
that's
still in
not.
people's mouths. I think people see that and go, ugh, no, not this. Even though the animated show is
It's
one of the
amazing.
best animated TV shows ever made.
Yes, by far.
I think the problem is here's my mindset. Either A, they're never going to touch it because they're afraid it's not going to work, or they're waiting for season two of the Netflix show to drop and they're going to release and they're going to put
Oh,
something out with that and icons wise. I could totally see it.
that could
We know
work.
One Piece is coming for Netflix,
Yeah.
so maybe
Well, not
maybe we'll
officially. We
see.
don't know it officially yet.
Yeah,
Eh.
it's pretty much there.
But I feel like
Everyone knows that.
it has a chance, but it's got to be the right moment because like there is definitely that
Yeah.
hunger with all the idea submissions going in.
I think if season two of the show comes out and it hits really well and people love it, I think we'll see something from it. If not, I don't think we'll ever see it again. Which then brings us into the actual list itself. Number 10 on this list, I will start us off because I was really excited for this, is Ice Planet. And all of our lug friends will love hearing this
Yes.
because we have a giant Ice Planet collab going for BU. But I think Ice Planet is one of those themes that it's one of the more memorable space themes. It really is.
Hmm.
And when I look at it, like it has a very distinct color palette with the whites and the blues and the trans neon orange. And I think there's a way in which you could remake
Hmm.
one of their like more classic vehicles
Hmm.
or spaceships from that theme. Or, I mean, I know there was an Ice Planet base. I totally could see that being a set. That would be
Yeah.
really cool. But I think Ice Planet would be another really good classic space theme to revisit.
Hmm. I think what really would make it strong in Icons is just all the new parts and colors available now.
Mhm.
Not to mention when you ask like any fans of Lego from like the late 80s, early 90s, Ice Planet was like one of those themes that defined Lego in that time period.
It was.
And I know a
It's
bunch of people would
incredibly
love to
iconic
see
nowadays too.
Train to Orange come back. Like there was just something about the color palette of the blue, white, and the Train to Orange that just popped.
Yeah.
And we did get the CMF figure in the Space Wave. Was it the Space Wave?
Yeah, it was a space wave.
And solid figure. Love the penguin.
Really good figure.
if they could do that with just one figure, imagine how strong of a set it would be getting the icons treatment.
I think it would. I think that would be a really, really good theme. And I think with the track record so far of them remaking a lot of classic spaceships,
Hmm.
I would not at all be surprised if Ice Planet at some point gets a nod. Although I think another space theme that may or may not be on this list much later, is definitely going to get a nod before it.
Hmm.
Would you like to take number nine, Cam?
I would. So number nine is actually Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
Not minifigure heads, but the molded heads. There was just something special about it. I am proud to say that I owned every single Toy Story set from that time period, from like Toy Story and Toy Story 3. Some of the best figures, and it was, I believe, the introduction of the long arms and legs with Woody and
Mm-hmm.
Jesse
It
before
was.
Avatar. Everyone thinks that they originated from Avatar. It actually came from Woody and Jesse. And there's just something so special about them. They're so cartoony and they seem to sell pretty well. I think it just kind of ran its course. And now with more minifigure Disney sets becoming popular, especially with Disney 100, Lego could see how strong minifigure Disney sets are outside of just the mini doll princesses.
Mm-hmm.
Minifigure Disney sets have been selling well with the castle and more recently like the train station and the villain's icon set essentially. If you do Toy Story, like not necessarily a remake, but like you could do like Andy's room. I
Yeah,
feel
that's what
like
I was
if you
gonna say.
get Andy's room, you get all the characters we didn't get. I don't believe we're ever going to see the potato heads because
Never.
that's a separate brand from Toy
You'll
Story.
never see him.
But outside of them, you could see like the binoculars. There was even, I believe, Lego was actually in a Toy Story short, which is
Yeah,
pretty cool to
they
know.
were, which is cool.
So it's very possible, and I feel like getting eye contact, you could do Andy's room. You got a little Easter egg of Zurg again. Bring back all those figures. Bring back the molded heads because the minifigure heads, while they did work, the amount of detail you were able to get from the molded heads for Woody, Buzz, Jesse, it's just it you can't replicate that.
I think there's some figures that you could leave with a regular minifigure head. Like, I think Buzz Lightyear looks better with a minifigure head than he did with the molded head. Like, the molded head was
I
just kind
agree.
of creepy looking. I think Woody could use a molded head. I don't think Jesse necessarily needs one. She,
Woody and Jesse need to have those long arms and legs again because like
yeah,
it just proportion
I think
wise.
Woody just needs. Yeah, I think Woody just needs the longer limbs. I mean, getting a classic style Bo Peep that isn't Toy Story 4 would be sweet.
Hmm.
I mean, you could definitely. I mean, getting a Wheezy would be really cool. Like,
And they
I
could just
think
use that penguin piece that they used in the Ice Planet minifigure.
yeah, I think realistically speaking, for Toy Story, there's two ways you could go with an icon set. I think Andy's room is easy.
Yes.
Like if you did like kind of like one of the the more recent like Minecraft giant cube thing. If you just did like a
Oh.
cross section of Andy's room, like a corner, put the bed in the back and his desk
Mhm.
and a little shelf above it, you do the army men, a bunch of the toys, it would sell like
Yes.
crazy. I think the other thing you could do is if you did a UCS style
Pizza
like
Planet
Pizza
truck.
Planet truck and you included like a couple minifigures in that
Hmm.
from Toy Story 2,
That could be
that
Toy
could
Story
also
2. You could
really
have the
work.
aliens hanging, had them driving into the
Yeah,
airport.
that could really work.
One missed opportunity I feel like we never got with Toy Story was getting minifigures of some of like the human characters, like a minifigure of Sid or Al from Al's Toy Barn. Like while they wouldn't be
Yeah,
proportioned, it'd still be cool to just to get them as
it
like
would be cool to get
maybe
them.
similar to like the anniversary Star Wars sets where you got a figure that was related to the theme, but not
Mhm.
specifically to the set.
True.
But
I,
I feel
I, I
like
def I
Andy's room's
definitely,
perfect.
yeah, I think it's got to be Andy's room. And if you were to do a follow-up, it would probably be the Pizza Planet truck. Just
Hmm.
because if you did like a giant scale, like the Land Rover, but a Pizza Planet truck, like minifigures would scale perfectly with that.
Yes.
Like it would be expensive, but it would be a way of, oh yeah, here's the giant. Like you can't tell me a giant like Ultimate Collector style Pizza Planet truck wouldn't. It would
It
work.
would.
And you could include minifigures on it being like, oh well, you can't put them in the set. Well, yes you can because they
Hmm.
actually fit inside because they're to scale with the giant vehicle.
And
Um,
like thinking similar to like Simpsons, where like the first year we got the Simpsons house, and then we got Quickie Mart. You could
mhm.
do Andy's room, and then if it does well, the next year you could do maybe Sid's room
Scissor would be
with
cool.
all of those characters in there.
The
That would
remnants
be
of
fun.
the remnants of Combat Carl.
I feel like Toy Story's got that nostalgia. It's got the Disney factor.
People love Toy Story. It's just
Toy
iconic.
Story's the first 3D animated film. I believe it just had its 30th anniversary,
Something like that.
or
Yeah,
it's close.
it's close.
Everyone loves Toy Story. I don't know why they don't do it again. If and the missed opportunity with Toy Story 4 sets, they had them all be 4
They were
plus. I
all
feel
four
like that
plus.
took away from it.
Yeah. Number eight. I'm gonna honestly sit there here and say Western should come back. They should do something Western. We got a Viking village. We got some castle stuff. I think you can do the Western route. Now, obviously, you would not include any of the Native American figures. I think you just leave them out.
Hmm.
But if you were to do a remake of Fort Legorado, how sick would that be? Now, that might cause problems because it's kind of like the Alamo and it gets a little difficult there.
It's
Um,
tricky.
it's tricky, but I think it works.
It could work.
If you do it as a straight up remake of that set, I think it works. And it could be really
Hmm.
cool.
It would
Really
work
cool.
because like, I see it similar to like what the Galaxy Explorer was. It looked like one of the original ships, but it's
Mhm.
just modernized. And I feel like
Yeah.
they could do that with the Western theme. Like now, obviously, kind of avoid the Native Americans just because they don't want to deal with the controversy. But like if you just have a bunch of cowboys, have some cowgirls, have some town folk,
Mhm.
have some cool animals, get some pigs back, get some
If you
cows.
just did it like a Western fortress, like if you did it like a Western fortress, kind of like, um, what was it? Kind of like the Lion Knight's Castle remake, it works
Hmm.
perfectly. I don't want us to say avoid the Native Americans because that kind of sounds
Right.
weird,
It
but
does.
more just avoid the stereotype surrounding
Exactly.
that. Like,
Honor
don't go
it.
back and remake those figures. That
Don't
maybe
do
not be the best
caricatures.
idea.
Don't do caricatures.
No, don't do caricatures. I think if you did it as a straight up, just like it's a cowboy fortress in the middle of the desert, I think that works really well. And if you do it
Exactly.
like Lion Knight's Castle, it could look incredible,
Hmm.
incredible. So I definitely think that is one that I would love. It's like when we were like pitching this idea for a video, I'm like, the first thing I thought of was Fort Legorado remake. Do it.
Hmm.
100% do it. People would eat that up
They
because that
would.
original set is one of the most desired and collectible sets of all time. It
Hmm.
would be genius to do that.
Moving on to number seven, we have Mtron.
Yes, Mtron. Here we
So
go.
I'm not as familiar with Mtron. My only experience with Mtron is actually with the collectible minifigure series minifigures.
Hmm.
But I love the color scheme of like the red and the black and the white. It pops similar to Ice Planet. I feel like it's one of those classic themes that helped kind of identify Lego to people. And I feel like if you got like that giant icons level set,
Hmm.
the minifigure and like they're kind of basic minifigures, so you can throw a lot of them in there and you kind of like a mini story within the set.
Hmm. I like that. I feel like Mtron is going to be the next classic space theme to get a remake.
Hmm.
We got the classic Galaxy Explorer. We got the
Blacktron.
Renegade from Blacktron. I think Mtron's going to be next. Um, what do I want to see from Mtron? Mtron had some really cool looking rovers,
Yeah.
and I would kind of like to see one of those. Maybe mix it up a little bit.
Add some
But
Technic in there.
yeah, it could work. But at the same time, I feel like they're going to want to just do another spaceship.
Hmm.
I think they'll figure something out. But like when I look at classic space, at least in my eyes, the two that always paired so well together was the Explorer and
Hmm.
the Renegade because the whole thing was that the Explorer is out there exploring and the Renegade
Hmm.
is hunting the Galaxy Explorer. So it was kind of like this was a cool set to pair with
It
that.
could be a cool continuation of a story, essentially.
Yeah, I mean you could just piggyback on. I think they would definitely tackle Mtron first, and then Ice Planet would follow. Definitely what they
Ooh.
would do. But yeah, I think Mtron is a perfect way to go next and for for a classic space icon set. I'd probably be another couple years before we get one.
Oh, for sure.
They're gonna space them out a little bit.
Hmm.
Because I think the when did the Explorer come out? Was that 22?
It was,
Yeah, that
I
was 20.
believe it was 22.
I think it was 22. Yeah, because 2022 was the Explorer. This year was the Renegade. So I feel like
About a
give it
3 year.
2 or 3 years. I think we'll see another one.
Yeah. And then moving on to number six, the probably the one that I really fought for the most for me was Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I feel like the sets, when we originally got them, they did well, but not as well as it could have.
Hmm.
I think the reason that I fought for this to be on the list is just because the desire for the sets now.
Hmm.
Everybody kind of wants to have the classic Scooby Gang. I think that was the downfall of the wave was you had to buy almost every single set to get the full Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
Whereas with an icon, you could do the classic Scooby Gang, throw in some monsters. You could do essentially the haunted house that the only Velma came in,
Yeah.
but just do it on a bigger scale. And I feel like it could sell well. The only thing is, I don't know if they want to do another haunted house. I feel like we're seeing a lot of haunted houses recently. Maybe similar to Toy Story, get like a UCS mystery machine.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking was I think the problem with Scooby-Doo when that theme first came out was nobody cared about anything outside the Mystery Machine.
No,
Because the Mystery Machine was the most iconic thing. Like, besides the gang, the Mystery Machine is the most iconic thing in
the gang
Scooby-Doo.
was a six member.
There's no mystery plane. Like, that's not a thing.
No,
Like, the museum thing
no
with the mummy was
speedboat.
this, yeah, there's no speedboat. Like, I get what they were trying to do.
Hmm.
But realistically, the only two sets anybody wanted was the Mystery Machine because it was the Mystery Machine, and the mansion because it came with Velma and Daphne. If you
Yep,
got those two sets, you were good.
you're
You didn't
done.
need the other ones
You're
because
solid.
unless you wanted the other monsters, but realistically, like, who cares?
You
Just
could get the monsters in other sets. You can get them from the Monster Fighter sets. You could make your own monsters
you
honestly
can
with
make your own
any
monsters. It
minifigure
wasn't that big a
pieces.
deal. I mean, the other thing about the Scooby-Doo monsters that was anything special was the fact that they were like
They had like their
they had the
unmasked
reversible
version.
heads that were like, oh, they've been unmasked. Like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not doing that with my figures. But I think for this, there's two ways you go. I think you could easily do a like a haunted house kind of build.
Yes.
If you did like a Scooby-Doo themed haunted house that is themed like one of the ones from that original TV
Hmm.
show, and you did it around that, you included it like a minifigure scale mystery machine again, maybe one with less play features that fits all six members of the gang.
Yes.
I think that would work. It would
Hmm.
sell really well. I mean, the Mystery Machine is one of my favorite sets I own, like 100%. Um,
I mean,
I
I'm
think it would
looking at
work.
them now. Like the sets were good, honestly, but you're 100% right. There is no speedboat. There
Nobody
is no plane.
like nobody cared.
Like I get why they did it because they wanted to appeal to young kids. Like kids,
Mhm.
ooh, Scooby-Doo plane. It didn't work.
Yeah. I think the other thing that would easily work, and this is they've done it now for a couple of different movies, is like do like a big Ultimate Collector Series style Mystery Machine.
Hmm.
That would sell.
You had Back to the Future. You had the Ghostbusters vehicle.
Yep. And Back to the Future set the precedence of like, yep, you can put minifigures in. Who cares? If you just
It
make
could just be a display model. You have the giant mystery
yep,
machine and you have the display of the gang.
correct.
That's all you need.
And I think Ghostbusters is a good way to go about looking at Scooby-Doo because it's like Ghostbusters, the only sets they ever did for it that were minifig scale were the Ecto 1 from Ideas,
Yep.
the Ecto 1A and B from the reboot movie that had the entire cast in both those minifig
Yep.
sets, and then the Firehouse, which had all the minifigures plus some supporting cast. The problem with the Scooby-Doo line was there was no way to just get everybody.
No, there wasn't.
You had to buy a bunch of sets. People were like,
Which, I
whatever,
mean, credit to Lego for like thinking business wise. Like, you want the whole gang? You have to buy almost every set. Granted, they
buy all
only
the
did it. They
sets.
only had to do two sets.
Hmm.
Like the mystery machine was the only set I had for the longest time. And then during COVID, when there was nothing to do, I'm like, okay, I'll get this. I'll get this. And then my first time at Brick World, I bought the haunted house.
Yeah. And I think that's why Scooby-Doo bombed, and I
Hmm.
think that's why if they bring it back, that theme back, it will be icons. It will be a
Hmm.
giant Ultimate Collector style mystery machine with a very, very large, or they'll with the whole cast. And
Hmm.
then if they do something like like almost a pirate ship, if they do something like a haunted house on the line, you could do it. You could include like a little micro figure of Scrappy. That'd be kind of funny.
Oh my God. I
I
mean, they
think
could
I think that
honestly
would
just
work.
do, they could do their own Scrappy. Like, just do it the size of Grogu. Just have a different molded head.
Yeah, and that could work. The next one, this is another blast from the past, was Alpha Team. Um, Alpha Team
I thought
is
we didn't you skip one?
I did on purpose, so we don't have
Okay.
too many IP ones back to back to back. Yeah. Alpha Team is next. Alpha Team is one of those original themes that people, excuse me, have a
Hmm.
lot of fond memories of. It was kind of like the original Secret Agent theme. There was a lot of cool stuff in that with like the big villain Ogle being Lego spelled backwards, and all the Ogle minions and the orbs, and there was a lot of really cool looking like sand blue vehicles with the red visors that looked sick. So I think when I look at that, I go, this definitely is a theme that could warrant a very large icon style set. And I think specifically what would I do? I would do like a Castle Gray Skull kind of thing, but with Ogle's base, like his mountain
Ooh.
base, and include the full Alpha Team lineup, include Ogle and some Ogle minions, maybe a couple of the other side villains that were there a little bit,
Mhm.
and then just remake a couple of the more iconic, maybe remake the Alpha Team's like big truck. Do it like, I don't know, like $150 total. $50 big truck
Mhm.
looking thing, $100 mountain with the facade for Ogle. I think that works.
Mhm.
I think that's all you need. I think that appeals. It appeals to Alpha Team fans. It appeals to classic Lego collectors. I think that is a set that would 100 million% sell.
And as a Lego fan who this was, I believe, this was my first set outside of like a big blue bin full of Lego pieces.
Hmm.
I remember being in Disney, walking back to my hotel room and seeing a Lego bag hanging on my door. My
Hmm.
uncle had bought me and my brother two small Alpha Team sets. One was the killer whale, the mutated whale. The other one was
Hmm.
Olga with his squid. And I just loved that character so much. Like it, I have my original one. It is beaten up to all ends to the point where during COVID I bought both of them just so I could have like new, fresh, clean ones. And they're sitting on my shelf right now. And like I just get such flashbacks to just how awesome they were, like seeing them in Lego magazines, like the instructions. But back when you didn't get just the instructions, you got so many, I guess, papers and posters to see what else was out
Hmm.
there for Lego. It's a theme that could easily get icons treatment, like with all the updated pieces, trans red, black, trans green. A lot can be done with Alpha Team, and there's so many characters to
Agreed.
go with it. Ogle could even get like a giant mech now, honestly, and that could work. Like Ogle could get the mech, and it could be everyone fighting Ogle in his lair with the giant mech, and then there's a bunch of vehicles to fight Ogle. And I
Hmm.
feel like done, you're sold.
That could
Lego makes
work. That
money.
really could work.
It really could.
Be sweet to see them try that. Would you like to take number five, Cam?
Or is it number four now since we swapped them around?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, true. Number
Yeah.
four.
So the next one is SpongeBob.
Yes.
I don't I believe another company has a license for SpongeBob at the moment, but we wanted this on the list just because we remember when SpongeBob sets were released. And like even before this episode, we were talking about SpongeBob and like imagining like a UCS Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket,
Mhm.
or a UCS neighborhood with SpongeBob's house, Squidward's house, and Patrick's rock. Yes, I'm calling it a rock, not a
It
house.
it it's a rock. Um, I
It's not
think
a
look,
boulder, it's a
it's a rock.
rock.
I definitely think looking at the SpongeBob IP,
Hmm.
it's incredibly popular.
It is.
It's still running. People
Was it
love
30 years
SpongeBob.
now? Well, it came out in
Something
like what,
crazy like that.
98 or something? It
The
stood the
problem
test of
is,
time.
I don't think play sets work for this theme. I
Mm-mm.
don't. Unfortunately, I really don't.
They
And
could, but there
it gets
wasn't a
tough.
charm with it. I think it could work with wave sets with like modernized pieces, but at the same time, I feel like you get one set
Hmm.
of like the neighborhood or the Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket, or like similar to like the Simpsons we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
First year is the neighborhood, next year is Chum Bucket, Krusty Krab. You could throw in some more other characters, like maybe get Pearl,
Yeah.
get some of my leg guy.
I
There's
think if
so
you're
much
gonna
you could do with it.
I think if you're gonna do SpongeBob, you start with the Krusty Krab. Like you have to.
Over his
It
house, really.
I think you go Krusty Krab because I think that leaves the opportunity open to include way more characters that you can
Fair.
outside of SpongeBob's house. I think if you were to do a very like I'm picturing like a Quickie Mart style set of the Krusty Krab, like
Oh.
$200+ Krusty Krab, just do a beefy thing. And
Hmm.
if you included SpongeBob, Patrick, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, Sandy, do a weird piece for Plankton, do like Mrs. Puff,
Or maybe
Pearl.
some general fish characters just to kind
Yeah,
of fill it in a
I
little bit.
honestly I wouldn't even do that. I would just sneak in like actual named SpongeBob characters people
Okay.
love. And then if you feel like it and you think it would work, which I think this would, I
Hmm.
would totally sneak in like a build of Karen with Plankton because that'd be really funny.
Yes.
If you just did that, boom. There you go.
And can we
There you go.
please get Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy?
See, that would be also really fun. I don't know if they dare try that because they do still have the DC license, and that might make Warner's mad if you put Aquaman and his ripoff in. You put ripoff Aquaman and ripoff Aqualad inside that. Rest in peace,
Yay.
Adam West, by the way.
But no, I feel like SpongeBob is a theme that has honestly stood the test of time. It's be
Hmm.
popular with kids, be popular with those who grew up on SpongeBob. And like you said, doing it like the Quickie Mart style with the Krusty Krab,
Yep.
you can't go wrong. And if that
No.
does well, then you do SpongeBob's Neighborhood and then Squidward's House and Patrick's Rock.
I think that could work
It could work
really
really
well.
well.
Like that could be really fun to see that. Um, the next theme that we're going to talk about is one that I made sure we lined up so that I would talk about it because I love it the most. And before all of you fans out there of this theme get
Oh
mad, I
boy.
didn't put it number one. We are talking about Bionicle. I think Bionicle deserves an icon set. When I look back at that original 90th
Mhm.
anniversary poll, what was the theme that took the lead in the original vote and just steamrolled everybody? It
Yeah.
was Bionicle. It won. It was
Hmm.
number one in the first round. And then when they went to the second round, Castle won, obviously, because they had split Castle up into too many into the factions, and everyone was voting for their favorite faction, so Castle didn't get in there. So they when they combined all the Castle votes, Castle was now number one. And then I'm not trying to say it's a conspiracy before people start throwing that out
Oh
there.
geez, here we
I'm
go.
not saying that at all. I'm not saying
Okay.
this is a joke. I'm dead serious. It wasn't a conspiracy. But I think there's a way in which you can do a Bionicle reboot. Sorry, not reboot, remake. Because let's face it, Bionicle's never getting rebooted. You could remake it. If you were to take the original six Toamata, so if you were to take Tahu, Gali, Liwa, Kopaka, Onua, and Pohatu, and you were to make them into six brick-built figures, not that style, that was almost too simple. If you, I do love that style. If you make them bigger and beef them up a little bit, and almost kind of make them like,
Make them Lego like Lego
yeah.
brickerize instead
If
of
you
like what
re
actual Bionicle was.
if you recreate the Bionicle parts in Lego, like with
And
like in
Lego
Lego,
bricks.
with the system pieces, not construction pieces, and you make a collectible set that's all six of the original Toa together, and they're on like a display stand or something, and you give each of them a display plaque that says like Tahu, Pohatu, Gali,
Hmm.
Liwa. I think that would be so great. I think that's all you have to do. You don't need to reboot the theme. As
No.
much as a lot of us fans want to see Bionicle come back, it is never coming back. I just
Lightning doesn't
accept
strike
it.
twice. And after the second reboot in like
G2 buried the
early,
theme.
yeah, early 2010s, it didn't sell well. I remember seeing them warming the shelves on Toys R Us.
Yep, G2 buried the theme.
You
But I
can't, you
think,
can't, you can't replicate what it had.
but you can still capitalize on the nostalgia by going back and making some buildable statues, display statues of those original sets. I think the Bionicle fans would buy them up.
Oh,
I
they
think they
would.
would enjoy that. And I think the Lego fans who just appreciate Bionicle for what it was will buy it to display them. Because you like Construction or hate it, Bionicle is a massive part of Lego's past. Massive part of Lego's
It's
past.
a massive reason why Lego's still in business,
It is
honestly.
like one of the reasons it's still in business. That theme almost pretty much single-handedly saved Lego from going out of business. So I think when I look at that and I go, okay, Bionicle deserves some love here in the
Hmm.
Icons theme. And I think there's a way to give it a one-off set, six large buildable figures of the original six Toa, and call it. And then you're good.
Hmm. No,
Boom.
honestly,
Problem
I
solved.
don't think I could say it better myself. I remember seeing this on the list and being a little hesitant only because of two reasons. One, Gen 2 not doing so well, and two, Bionicle had a certain style to it.
Mhm.
And like this is cool and all, it's like a little nod to it, but like it's not Bionicle to me. Like it's
It's
Bionicle,
system.
but it's not.
It's system.
It's system, and like it can work, but also can't work at the same time.
Hmm.
Like it's really disappointing seeing the Toa face as a print on a Lego piece. Like that's not what Bionicle
It's
was. Like
fair.
Bionicle was those special molded pieces.
Yeah.
But like hearing you describing like just like do the six, honoring it, simmer. Like I'm getting like that Fabuland set vibes,
Hmm.
but on a bigger scale for Bionicle. And I feel
Yeah.
like that could work perfectly. It's
It
not
could
trying to
work really
redo
well.
Bionicle. You can't redo Bionicle, but it's a way to give a nod to one of Lego's best themes,
Hmm.
give a little note to all the fans who appreciate and love Bionicle, give them something fresh. And if it does well, who knows? But you lightning can't strike twice,
No.
but it's a nice way to honor it still.
Correct. Agreed.
All right, so now number two, we have Adventurers. Johnny Thunder.
Yes. Adventures is fun. Now, I don't think they'd touch Dino Island
No,
at
they don't
all.
touch Dino Island. I feel like
The
they
problem with Dino Island is you overlap with Jurassic World, and that
mm,
theme just destroys dinosaur nowadays anyway.
and
So,
they don't want to cannibalize themselves. But I feel
no.
like if you have Johnny Thunder, have a good ragtag team on like a cool island, maybe like a skull island sort of
Hmm.
thing, maybe have like an not an enemy, maybe like a rival adventurer, like who's gonna try to discover it first, maybe. That could work. But like I feel like if you have Johnny Thunder, his classic team, get like a Jeep in there, get like a cool campsite, and then like on the other half of the build is what they're actually looking for. Like get a little bit of jungle in there. It could work really well.
I was almost thinking the opposite.
Oh.
I was thinking go with the remake the pyramid set from way back
Mm,
when. Because Lord Sam
okay.
Sinister is referenced in the the haunted house tower drop theme park set.
Yes, yes.
That's technically speaking in the lore of like the ride queue. That's his house.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, if we do a adventure set, an icon style adventure set, if you do the pyramid,
Hmm.
you include Johnny Thunder, you include
Yes.
Pippin Reed, if you include Sam Sinister, if you update those characters and give them more like we saw Johnny Thunder get updated, but
Oh.
if like in City, kind of he was in that. It wasn't officially Johnny Thunder,
Hmm.
but like it's pretty much Johnny Thunder. But if you bring them all back and you update all of them and you give this really cool like Lego Adventurers
Hmm.
remake of this pyramid set, you can include the mummy that's coming out or whatever. I think that'd be really fun. That's a really fun
Adventurers
homage to that theme.
is like a theme I feel like it's one of those themes that did great for Lego at the time, but it's
Mhm.
also a theme that could do amazing with the new parts available today.
Imagine them remaking the giant hot air balloon set they did years ago.
Or was it there's a blimp too.
The, I think the Zeppelin would be too big
That would be too
for
big, but a hot air balloon with like I mean we
if
have hot air balloon
if you
pieces.
paired a hot air balloon with the pyramid, boom, there you go.
There you go, it's done.
There you go. Put a
Moneymaker,
Jeep with it or something, boom, there you go. Problem solved.
exactly. And that's all you need because you got nostalgia, but you also got just like that modern adventure theme. Like Lego is missing that like adventure theme. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, there's superheroes, there's Ninjago,
There's dreams.
there's that's that's not adventures, that's literally dreams.
It is. It's adventures in your imagination.
Jeez.
You say
Again,
this.
I don't hate dreams.
You beat me to it. I didn't say it
I
yet.
don't hate dreams. And I know Gina's gonna say this in the comments, but also she's gonna mention I didn't get to say it earlier. Sorry about the Ghostbusters headquarters. It's okay now. Inside joke. Moving on. I feel like we need like an action adventure theme again. Like that's what
That
I
is
feel
true. We
like most of
definitely
this
do.
list is like with adventurers, with Alpha Team, Western, Mtron, Ice Planet. Like you
Hmm.
just need like that action theme again. And I feel like adventurers, either icons or if icons does well enough, new wave or something,
Hmm.
icons is a great start to it.
Correct.
And I feel like it's a good time to lead to number one, which is Galador.
No, it's not. Shut up. Get out. We are never going to give Galador any love on this show ever.
Oh, I love doing
You
that
know
to
what?
you.
How about this? Hashtag Langster hates Galador. I will eat that one. I hate Galador. It sucks.
We're
Listen,
definitely
hey,
gonna do a Galdor episode one day just to upset you.
listen, it's gonna be a time capsule at some point. You're gonna love every
It's
second
gonna
of
be
that.
fun. It's gonna be a fun
We're
one.
gonna lay a
As
fat
much hate as it
sneaker on
is,
that thing.
there's like a certain charm to it. But no, it's not
No,
number
there's not.
one.
The
Yes, there
actual
is.
number, the actual
Moving
number
on.
one is Pirates,
Yeah.
and I think this is a no-brainer. There's a reason this is number one, and I think like when I look back at the
Hmm.
ideas set, the like the shipwreck island or whatever it
Hmm.
was called that they did, that you could take apart and kind of modularly put together into Redbeard's Bounty.
Yes.
Just do the ship. Just do
Do
the
it
ship.
again. Do a ship.
Don't just make the ship.
Make a
Make
ship.
a giant pirate ship build
There
of
is
Redbeard's Bounty.
such a charm to a pirate ship, whether like any, even if you're not a Pirates fan, just getting a ship is amazing.
I
There's
think
just something
also
about
like
Lego ships that are just different.
and the Redbeard's Bounty to me is in the same category as the Galaxy Explorer. It's
Yes,
one of those sets that you look at it and you're just like, that's classic Lego.
that's Lego.
Like
Like if you do like
classics,
a
like when
poster
you're
of Lego, you have like the yellow castle from the castle theme. You have Galaxy Explorer. You could have a Star Wars theme on. You could have a Star Wars theme, but then you also have that pirate ship.
there's the pirate, it's that pirate ship.
It is.
That pirate ship is probably top three, one of the most iconic Lego sets literally ever made. Like in terms of classic sets, like it's Galaxy Explorer, it's the Yellow Castle, and it's Redbeard's Bounty. It has to be. It has to be Captain Redbeard's Bounty. I think you could update
Again,
Captain Redbeard.
Galaxy Explorer,
Yep.
Yellow Castle, Redbeard's Bounty.
Redbeard's Bounty. Boom, there you go. If you remade Redbeard's Bounty now, I,
Oh
I,
my
I
God.
get they put it in the icon in the idea set. That was a long time ago. And it
Hmm.
also, theoretically speaking, isn't really even it's not the pirate ship, it's the pirate ship in pieces, like it's
That you can
crashed
put
and
together
destroyed.
somewhat. Give it a
If you just
true,
remade the set as
exactly.
Redbeard's Bounty, boom,
And
I'm buying
honestly,
that.
it wouldn't be even like they won't have to pay like the IP tax, honestly. It's
Nope.
their own theme. They could even honestly do all the minifigures with the classic two eyes and a smile.
Mhm.
Would make all the pieces like that, except for Redbeard, obviously. And then you're golden. You get all the
You-
pirates in there. You get the giant ship, what everybody wants. Get the giant sails,
yeah,
not brick built sails.
no,
No brick built
make them
sails,
cloth.
please.
Do I think I wouldn't even be mad about vinyl sales if they did vinyl sales?
That's fine as long as it's not brick
I'm
built
fine with it as
sails.
long as I'm brick built. When I look at it, I'm just kind of like, if the rumors of the Black Pearl D2C are true and
Please,
it's coming, I think Redbeard's Bounty is a few years away still.
for
Because
sure.
I think what they would do is they would probably lean more into let's let the Black Pearl run its course and then put this out afterwards. But even then,
Black
if
Pearl,
they
then Flying Dutchman.
here's the thing, if they go down, let's say the Black Pearl rumor is true and it's actually coming. If they are going back to Pirates of the Caribbean and they go down the rabbit hole of that again, kind of like they're doing now with Lord of the Rings, they're doing some of these bigger Lord of the Rings sets that are more D2C.
Hmm.
If this is what we start getting, I don't know if Redbeard's Bounty ever sees the light of day for at least 10 years because you're gonna do the Queen Anne's Revenge again.
Yeah,
You're gonna definitely end up. I think the Dutchman comes next
we
for
need the
sure.
Dutchman.
Dude, I'd be there for that day freaking one. But I look at it and I go, there's a lot of it's the Pearl, it's the Dutchman, and then maybe you go back and do Queen Anne's Revenge for Stranger Tides, maybe. But I think like you at least need to let those two run their course. And
Yes.
the rumor with the Black Pearl is that it's like $500+. So if that's the case, then like we're going to end up getting two giant, massive pirate ships. So we're probably going to end up having to wait a couple years
Yeah.
before we even start thinking about Redbeard's Bounty if they go back to Pirates of the Caribbean. So we'll have to
But
see. But I think that is just the number one. It's the last set left from that original
mhm,
trio that hasn't been touched. They redid Lion Knight's Castle. They remade the Galaxy Explorer. Redbeard's Bounty is the only one left.
mhm.
I
And
think
like
you got to do
honestly,
it.
with the list we just talked about today, if Lego even considers doing more icon sets of classic themes, it gives them time to let all of those go out first and then do pirates.
And Lego, if you're watching this, send us one.
Yeah, okay. That's
Never
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen, but
Never gonna happen.
I can dream, can I?
Uh, Sure. Oh God, dreams. You.
Ah, I didn't mean to do that either.
I don't hate dreams.
Get wrecked. Um, I think this is a good spot for us to leave this, though. I think this is
Yeah,
a good natural
it
place.
is.
So,
I mean, we're excited. I mean, this is a cool idea, cool concept. Let us know in the comments if there's any ways of themes or classic IP that you'd want to see get the icons treatment.
correct.
But
Yeah,
there's
definitely
nothing
share in the
else.
comments what you think. And also, speaking of old themes, Time Capsule episode 4 is now out. It is on
Mhm.
Exoforce. It is really fun. Thank you, Rob, for Rob's World War II Breaks for coming on. That was always a delight having him. So if you've not watched that, please go do so. If you have not also subscribed to the YouTube channel, you definitely should do that as well, along with hit the notification bell so you get notified when all of our new episodes go live.
Mhm.
Now, repeating it again for the second time, just so people remember it. Next week's episode is not releasing on Friday. It is going to release on Saturday at 2 p.m. instead. We are going to be filming from Brick Universe. We will not be showing everything. You will basically probably
Mhm.
just see the Bat Cave will be behind us as a little thing while we do the May 4th buyer's guide. And then the week after that, we will have a full vlog of everything that happened at Brick Universe. It will be released in lieu of an episode that week. So that'll be kind of fun. We'll get a little break
It's
and
gonna
you
be
guys will
fun.
get to watch all of the absolutely insane antics that
I'm
probably go
so
on at that
excited to
convention.
see what everyone has been working on over the past
Yes.
year. And
And
just
I'm
like
excited.
it's our lug Super Bowl, and I'm really excited to see what everyone's built. And honestly, I'm just excited to be able to do an episode next to each other.
Yeah,
I like our
we're not going
dynamic
to be on
here.
Zoom for once. Well, we still will. We'll be on a Zoom call, but it'll just be one Zoom
It'll
call,
be nice just to be right next to each other, no headphones, one microphone.
one
It's gonna be a
microphone.
whole different
It'll
feel.
be
We're gonna have
so much fun.
some of our friends hop on, say a few things. It's gonna be a good time.
It'll be fun. That'll be one of our more fun episodes. So, if you want to keep up to date with what else we're doing, follow us on Instagram
Yeah.
at Brick Hour Pod. You can also follow me on Instagram at Langster Builds, and also keep an eye on the progress of this gigantic beast of a build. We will see everybody next week and in the next episode. Have a great rest of your night. Happy building. We'll see you.